You become what you believe, not what you think, not what you say, but what you do. The change you want in your life, it needs more than thoughts. It needs action. It needs more courage, a little discomfort to push you forward, and a mission that gives you something to accomplish. The change you seek must be intentional, not random, not accidental. It should start with a deep desire to shift your mind, to shift your perspective. And that desire must come with sincere and pure intention. Because without intention, your effort is just a movement with no clear direction. And a movement without clear direction always leads nowhere. So, how do you know if your intention is pure? How do you know that you are chasing something real, something you care? I use a simple framework I choose for myself. It consists of three important questions: who you are trying to change, what change are you trying to make, and how do you know if it worked? If you are a writer, you probably think about your readers. If you are a business person, you probably think about your customers. But here is the truth: before you change anyone else, before you influence someone else, you must see yourself in the mirror first. Because the most convincing proof that you offer to anyone is your own experience, is your own transformation. The work you have done on yourself, the improvement you have made in yourself. If you have not lived it, you cannot really teach it. You cannot inspire. So, the person you are really trying to change, you are really trying to influence, is you before anyone else. Think about it. If you read something that impacted you, that impacted your mindset, your perspective, changed how you live, how you think, that kind of value you will be able to deliver to someone else. But it starts with your own experience. You grow and your growth becomes a lesson to others. So always begin here. Change yourself first. Inspire yourself first. Second question: what change are you trying to make? This is where clarity matters. Saying I want to change myself is too vague. Even if you know what do you mean inside your head, it is still not enough. Growth does not come from vague wishes. Growth comes from small, specific, and intentional steps. It's not about one big leap, it's about small steps, bit by bit, inch by inch. You take action, you get feedback, some positive and some negative. But those signals help you to adjust, reframe, and remodel. And over time, this slow, specific movement becomes a sustainable and more impactful growth. The more specific you are about the change you want, the more focused you will become. And when you are focused, you are also less distracted, and the change you want to seek become more intentional. The third question is, how do you know if it worked? This is the question that keeps you accountable because it forces you to see the small improvements, not just hopes. When you act and over time your work feels less heavy, when your effort feels more natural, more consistent, that is a sign. When confidence replaces resistance, that is a sign. Let me give you an example. Suppose you are a writer. At first, writing one paragraph feels exhausting. You overthink every word, but you stick with it for a week or two, and suddenly it feels lighter, it feels more easier. Your mind feels less burdened. Your ideas flow more clearly. That is a signal. That's how you know it's working. That's how you know you are getting good at what are you doing. The same applies to every form of change. You need feedback first from yourself and then from others. Noticing progress is a proof, and proof builds trust. So always ask, how will I measure this? not perfectly, but just with awareness. Every time you want to change something in your life, ask these questions, because these questions will build clarity, will give you the direction. Who is it for? What kind of change you are trying to make, and how do you know if it worked or not? And here is the final piece: build an identity that supports change, build an identity that creates accountability. If you see yourself as a writer, then writing regularly is not a task, it is who you are. If you see yourself as a business person, then building something daily, working on something daily, selling something daily is not a task, it is who you are. It is how you define yourself. It is how you see yourself in the mirror. Because identity locks the change into place. That identity also gives you clarity. It asks for feedback, it asks for improvements. Without identity, efforts becomes fragile. And with identity, your efforts, your actions become more natural towards the goal you want. Change is not about thinking or saying nice words. It is about intentional action. It starts with you. It is guided by clarity. And more importantly, it is measured by personal experiences. We all want to grow, we all want to change. But without clarity, most of us just move in the circles. That is why asking questions is powerful. They make sure you are not just moving, but moving forward with more informed steps. And that is the truth about growth. It's not about speed, it's about direction. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. And it's not about changing others first, it's about changing yourself first. So remember this: the change you believe in requires action, the action requires intention, the intention requires clarity, and the clarity requires identity.